morning, everybody, and welcome to the virtual career fair. Excited to have two presenters with us to talk to us about HVAC this morning. And so I have Laura and James with me from ACI Services, and they're going to tell us a little bit about their company, their profession, and some other advice that they have for young people. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Laura and James, and if you could start with a brief introduction and give us some background on who you are, that would be fantastic.
Oh, so I am Laura Sundin with ACI Mechanical. ACI Mechanical is, we're a large mechanical contractor. In addition to HVAC-R, we do also do plumbing and sheet metal. So we're kind of the full gamut there. My role at ACI is human resources. I work in human resources and accounting. I've been with ACI about 30 years, started as their service dispatcher. So I worked in the service department for many years and then kind of moved on to some different roles. So I'm here in the HR capacity, and I will let James talk.
All right, I'm James Kessler. I am currently the HVAC service manager. Prior to that, I was a service technician. I've been with ACI Mechanical for about 6 years. Previous to that, I worked in Arizona and Nevada, so I've been in the trade almost 20 years. Again, I run the service department, and all the service technicians work for me. So,
fantastic, thank you. Can you give us a little bit more information on ACI Mechanical? What you do, how many you employ, just a general overview of the company.
So the company itself, as I said before, we are a large mechanical contractor. So we do plumbing work. We do a lot of process piping, a lot of industrial as well as commercial work. We do HVAC where we're installing, large HVAC units, and then we also have duct work. Everything that's like for the creature comfort of your building. We would take care of that pretty much, except electrical. We don't do electrical. Then we also have our service department. How many techs do we have in the service department?
Right now we have 7 technicians in the service department, and what we do is we do the startups on the new equipment. We service, we repair, troubleshoot, maintenance, filter changes on all the existing equipment. We help construction with installing refrigerant lines, the copper lines in between different pieces of equipment. We help out with replacing existing units. I mean, there's just a wide variety of things we do, and we take care of all of it here at ACI.
Overall at ACI, we have about 100 employees.
Wow, okay, big company.
Yep.
And I should have said this from the get-go, but for those young people and students listening, what is HVAC?
HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, air conditioning.
Very good.
Ventilation would be, exhausting air out of buildings. Of course, air conditioning and heating we know. And there's also a /R in a lot of it, and the R is refrigeration, which would be like your coolers in your restaurants and things of that nature. So
sometimes in industries we get so used to speaking in acronyms and we make assumptions that people know what that means. So I just wanted to make sure that all of our listeners were tuned in there. So
right.
Thank you. You mentioned this briefly, but types of careers that are available within your company, and then with that, what types of education levels are needed?
Okay, so in the HVAC department, basically we have a service technician. And again, they're responsible for startups, troubleshooting, repairs, maintenance, filter changes, and some smaller install stuff. Currently, most of our technicians went through a 2-year program. However, that's not required. We do have apprenticeship programs. And Laura can explain more about that if she wants.
Yep, the apprenticeship program, we work with the ABC of Iowa, and it's a 4-year program. It's actually a great deal for a young person wanting to get into the trades. The only requirement is that you be 18 and have your high school diploma or GED. So you are going to work during the day for us, then you're going to attend class one night a week. And it just follows the school year, so you don't have class in the summer. You have to, as you're working, you're keeping track of your hours worked. So by the end of 4 years, you'll have to have accumulated 8,000 hours worked in the trade and completed all your classes, and then you can sit for your journeyman test. And at that point, you're a journeyman, which is, a great thing all throughout the state of Iowa, because it sits, you sit for the test with the board for the state. So you're set there. And we pay at ACI Mechanical, we pay for your tuition and your books. So you get to work and earn money. And by the end of the game, you have no school debt because we paid for all that.
The state of Iowa does require licensing.
Yes.
We take care of all that through the apprentice program. So as you're going to school and working up to your 8,000 hours, you're a licensed apprentice for the state of Iowa. And then once you finish your 8,000 hours and your 4 years of training, that's the test Laura was talking about, and that's to get your journeyman license. So
Great.
that's kind of how
And then is there a contract that they have to give so many years back to ACI after that, or not necessarily?
Yeah, we do require that, a 2-year commitment to stay with us, after we've invested,
I was going to say, but to have your school paid for and probably earning while you're learning.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
What a great opportunity for those that are interested in those areas. So that was for the technician.
Right. And then other side too for a technician is, I know DMAC offers a 2-year program, NIAC.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, those are actually accredited programs. So ABC will take those programs and you don't have to go to class, but you still have to have your 8,000 hours of work.
Sure.
You might not have to go to class one night a week, but you still have to be an apprentice for 8,000 hours and work the 8,000.
Mm-hmm.
Once you work that 8,000, you still have to take the state's test to get your journeyman. So kind of like 2 ways.
Yeah, different pathways to the same
Right.
result, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
So then in addition to technicians, what other opportunities do you have within ACI?
All right, we do have installers. They're the ones who install the equipment in either new buildings or do replacement. A lot of times they fall under the sheet metal category, still, part of HVAC, which the education for them is the same. There is a sheet metal program at the school. All the requirements and the years, that's all the same. We do building automation controls. We're used to just seeing a thermostat on the wall, but in larger commercial buildings, that gets into what's called building automation, where they control their whole building off computers. So we do that also. And again, there's not really a schooling for that. That's go through the HVAC program, and the rest of that's kind of on the job. So yeah, that kind of wraps up what we do here as far as HVAC.
Great.
We install it, we service it, keep it working for them. So
great. What types of students what skills do you look for in new hires or students that you think will be successful in a position like this?
So we always used to use, well, if you're used to fixing your own car, then you're mechanically inclined, you can do this type thing. We like to see someone who is mechanically inclined. They they want to know how things work. That's just kind of their way of thinking. Of course, it helps when they know the tools. If you ask someone, I need a wrench, and they get you a hammer, might not be the right way to go, but it's all learning. So somebody has the desire, it's good to get them in the trades and teach them. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a little bit mechanically inclined, but the biggest thing I think is the desire to
Just
learn,
being willing,
and
yeah.
wanting to
Want to
work.
work.
Right.
Yep.
Come to work every day on time.
I hear that a lot, Laura, that just showing up, being willing to learn, and doing the job.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what employers are looking for these days.
Yeah.
So good to have that reiterated from some professionals here. So, what do you love about your job? And I know, Laura, maybe you can answer that from what do you love about ACI Mechanical? You've been there for 30 years. That's amazing. So what do you love about your job? And then on the flip side, what's the challenges right now that are facing your industry or your career?
So I'll talk about what I love about my job and ACI. I've been here many years. it's a great place to work. I think we're super kind of family oriented. You know, it's just it's kind of like family here. But my job, you know, I get to do a lot of different things, you know, so I'm very fortunate in that area. It's always every day is something different, and it's always exciting, and it's just sometimes it's maybe not like good exciting, but
So that would bring me to the challenges of your job.
yeah. So you know, finding employees is a challenge for us right now. The skilled trades are, you know, we struggle to keep enough employees, you know, so we are always looking for good people, and that is probably the biggest challenge.
And I hear that a lot. So students, young people, I want to reiterate that right now, if you have an interest in the trades, it's a good
Yes.
field to be interested in. There are jobs waiting for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Great opportunities waiting for you. So if you
Right.
have an interest, please pursue that.
Yeah.
And
How about you, James?
And to add on to what Laura, you know, loves about ACI Mechanical, we do a lot of different things. I mean, we work in buildings that people drive by and are like, what's that? You know, process facilities, you know, factories, you know, feed plants. We work in all those. So I've heard people say this is an experience of a lifetime. You know, I may not ever do this kind of work again. And to me, that's, you know, I love that. It's just, you know, some of the things we do, and it turns out really neat. And it's like, wow, I did that. So, you know, to me, I love the satisfaction you get for what you did, what you built, what you helped build. If I go into the service technician or the, you know, technician part of that, you know, I love the satisfaction of, well, this was broken when I got here and I just fixed it, you know, and the satisfaction that gives your customer. So that's always good. I love working with my hands, working with tools, being outdoors, all that good stuff. That's kind of why I got into this trade. You know, I could have went to college. I didn't go to college. I went to the military. After the military, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I got into the trades. So I just couldn't see myself sitting in an office full time all day, and just wanted to do something out there and help people and work with my hands. So I love doing that every day.
Good for you. What are the challenges that you have, James?
Well, to me, right now, I mean, like Laura said, challenges is manpower. You know, finding people who are willing to learn and have the desire and want to get in the trade. The trade is very rewarding. So, you know, both financially and, you know, getting the satisfaction, and it's a great career. Me being kind of a, you know, 20-year technician, sometimes I find it hard to keep up with the changing technology. You know, even your basic air conditioner is getting computer based, and which maybe some of the younger people might love that about it. You know, they're used to that. They're used to, you know, all this technology. I don't know anything about social media or technology. I stay away from all that, but, but yeah, I mean, for me, that's changing technology, keeping up with that is kind of hard, but that's just for me. Some people may enjoy that and like that challenge. So.
Right. Is there a project that comes to mind that might be a favorite project that you worked on over the years? Or building?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of the food process plants we've done recently, just walking into these buildings and seeing the millions of feet of piping that we installed, and, you know, just how it all works. I mean, it's like I said, it's very rewarding. We've done a couple here in the last couple of years that, you know, it's just amazing when you walk in and you just see the size of the building. And I mean, we've had 40 to 45 people on these jobs at all times. That's how big the jobs are, you know, working 10-hour days, 12-hour days. So it's just pretty amazing to go in and think to yourself that you are a part of that. So.
Yep. And when you see the finished product, it's like, wow, we helped do this, and it's amazing. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be pretty satisfying to see your work completed and know that you were a small part of that, or a big part of that, actually.
Right. We've also done some schools recently, and, you know, of course, seeing these newly updated schools for these kids, I mean, that to me is special also.
Very.
You know, they're used to an old school that may not even had air conditioning, and now we're building them a new facility with new gyms for sports. I mean, it's nice to be a part of that and see the outcome of that. So.
And giving back to your communities in those ways has to be rewarding. So, okay, great. What advice do you have for students who are interested in this field or just beginning their career exploration process?
we're always open to talk to anybody. I mean, I would just say, contact the HR department, ask some questions. Say, hey,
Yep.
I saw this video and I'm interested, or, just whatever
Yep.
questions they have, just write them down and call and ask. And we're more than happy to answer anything.
Yep. Talk to them on the
Everything.
phone, come in and visit with us. We're always very interested in visiting and getting you in to fill out an application and see if it might be a fit for you.
Does ACI Mechanical ever do job shadowing for
Yes,
high
we
school
do.
students? Okay.
Yes, we do.
We have
Yeah.
up until this year, of course.
Yeah, none this year with the.
And then some of the students may be familiar with us. We've had them actually come in here and do some more on the plumbing side, I think, some plumbing projects and some estimating projects and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we haven't done anything this year, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully we will all get back to that norm at some point sooner rather than later.
Right.
Yes,
So
we're
we look
looking
forward
forward
to that day.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. We touched on this a little bit, but what's the job outlook for the trades in this field? Do you see things continuing on as they are, getting better, getting worse?
Well, I think there'll always be a
Yeah,
huge
there's always
demand for all of the skilled trades, but this, like James said, things get more intricate. I mean, there's more, you just going and fixing it yourself, as a business owner isn't really an option anymore with the way things are. So there's a huge demand for this.
And in the HVAC industry, we haven't really seen a whole lot of downturn with the economy. Everybody still needs service. They may do less, but there's still a lot of it out there.
Still want your air conditioning
Yeah.
when it's hot out. You still need your heat.
Right.
You
So
know.
Right.
we haven't
Yeah.
been really that affected by a downturn in the economy,
Okay.
recently or, years ago when it happened. So,
Yeah.
and I don't see that happening in the future either.
Right. Once again, a great career field to get into because
Right.
it will always be
is.
there.
Yeah. People are always going to need these
Yes.
services.
Yes. All right. I'm trying to think if there's any other questions or anything that we have not touched on already. Anything else you two would like to share about your company, your positions, advice?
Anything
I
you
can't-
have, James?
I
Yeah.
can't think of
I mean,
anything
again,
else.
I just reiterate, what a great company I feel ACI Mechanical is, and we have a lot of people that have. I mean, like my 30 years is not. I am not at the top here. There's many people who have been here a lot longer than I have. So it's once you start here, usually you really enjoy it.
To me, that speaks volumes because it means it's a great place to work.
Yes.
People don't stick around if it's not. So to me, that says a lot about the company that you work for.
Right. We have employees who this was their first job out of high school, and
Still
they're
here,
they're
yeah.
getting ready to retire. So
Yeah.
it's
I just thought of one question. Is it mostly commercial, big projects that you work on, or do you do residential?
We do no residential.
No.
Yeah,
No
we're
residential.
we
Okay.
may do
solely
right,
industrial and
we may
commercial.
build a multifamily.
An apartment building, retirement community, stuff like that. That's as close to residential as we
Right.
can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Larger scale projects.
Yes.
All right.
And we do
Very
travel.
good.
Not so much on the HVACR side do we do a whole lot of traveling, but on our plumbing and sheet metal side, we do a lot of work in the state of Iowa, but we travel to all
What is your reach? I mean, that
The
United
entire
States.
United States. We have
Yeah.
customers
Wow.
who use us exclusively, and
Mhm.
we'll go anywhere for those customers.
Yeah, we go Texas, California, we've been in Florida, many states. Yeah, we just go.
So that's
All
something
over.
that some right out of high school is interested in, and
Wanna
there's that
travel,
opportunity
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
absolutely. I
Do it
was
while you're young
bringing
and
that
while you
up.
can, and go see the country. So,
yeah.
Do you have other locations then that they are out of, or they're just on the road for that project?
You're out of here. Yeah, this is our main office here, and then we might have a project in Texas, so you're gonna head out there from here. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Good. I'm glad we touched on that. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, James and Laura, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Really appreciate your time and the information you're able to share with us today. So if there's no other topics that we need to touch on, we'll sign off here.
All
Very
right.
good. Well, thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have a good day.